Mr. President, the Global Baku Forum is now in its 12th year. What are your hopes for the outcomes of this year's event?
Well, I hope that, as usual, the participants will share their views, opinions, approaches to the issues on the global agenda, especially now when the situation on the international arena is changing dramatically. The potential of the forum actually is reflected in the names of the participants. As I said in my introductory remarks, we have more than 50 heads of state and government from different countries, so people with great experience, knowledge, expertise. And of course, as we can see even from the opening session, there are just a combination of opinions, and they do not coincide, which is good. I'm sure that at the panels, the discussions will be even hotter. So always forum generates ideas and is a very, instrumental in elaborating of new approaches to international issues.
This year's theme is the reworking of world order. What do you think are some of our biggest global challenges that we're all facing around the world?
Well, actually, I think it's a common opinion that now we're in the phase of elaboration of new rules and regulations. The old new order seems no longer to be here. So what will be the new configuration of international communities interaction? Nobody knows. There are different opinions. But what is absolutely clear that every country should be more concentrated on its homework, more concentrated on its own capability, not to rely on any kind of assistance or even not to rely on international law. Azerbaijan is a country which suffered from international law being selective, has a great experience in building our future based on our resources. Second, I think what will be important for the future, that many countries will concentrate mainly on bilateral track of relationship rather than on activity within international institutions, because some of international institutions demonstrate their weakness, if not totally paralyzed. So, and of course, a lot will depend on how things continue, because we are just in the initial phase of global transformation.
We're seeing a lot of geopolitical changes around the world. Where do you stand on the significant ones that we're seeing, especially around this region?
Well, in the region, of course, it's important to protect the region from any crises around us. Fortunately, the region of Southern Caucasus for decades was an area of confrontation and hostility. So now we have relatively quiet periods, so we need to concentrate on that, to build security mechanisms that will be inclusive, to eliminate any threat of another military confrontation, and to try to live in a neighborhood as we used to in the times of Soviet Union. Yes, we were not independent countries. We could not actually plan our future. We were largely dependent on the Soviet center, but at least there was active interaction between the Southern Caucasian republics. So we have this experience, and we need to just keep it in our mind. For this region, it's very important not to be late with respect to geopolitical transformation and to concentrate on our regional problems and regional opportunities.
Looking further afield, we have Russia, Ukraine, we have the Middle East issues that are going on there. What can we take away from this and move forwards, as a global collective?
Well, as far as we are concerned, I think our understanding of the global order was absolutely correct, because we did not rely on any institution or anyone with respect to our national interests. And whether it's war between Russia and Ukraine or situation in the Middle East, tensions in Africa, in some other parts of the world, the countries should understand that their destiny is in their hands. As soon as they understand it, the sooner the better for them. Because if always you rely on someone's assistance, then first you are vulnerable. Second, you are not guaranteed that this assistance will be eternal. And third, you lose part of your sovereignty. Because if you depend on someone and you always ask someone for help, then that someone one day will come and give you a bill. So our experience was and proved to be successful that we relied on our resources, we restored our sovereignty and territorial integrity ourselves, and now we build the future ourselves. I think this is an important outcome. And this is not only the kind of a theory, this is what happened here in Azerbaijan.
In terms of your vision for the future, where do you see this global stability going eventually? Do you think we will achieve it?
I would not be so optimistic.
Yeah.
I prefer to be realistic. I don't think that we will achieve stability in the coming months or even coming years. And if we talk about a war between Russia and Ukraine, even if the war stops, it is not a guarantee that it will not erupt again. We had a time for almost 30 years when we had ceasefire agreement between Azerbaijan and Armenia, which was achieved spring 1994. But that did not mean that war ended. It just transformed. And the war only ends when you have peace agreement. Even now, after almost 5 years since the Second Karabakh War, we don't have peace deal with Armenia. Yes, we have quiet period, no casualties, and this is big advantage of today's situation. But until peace agreement is signed, this stability is not here. The same in all other parts of the world, the same in the Middle East, the same in Africa. Unfortunately, the number of conflicts is growing, and if you look at those which have been resolved, we can only see it here in Karabakh. That's the only one which was resolved based on international law, historical justice, and this resolution is accepted by the whole world.
I think events like this are testament to starting those conversations, and it's a very important part of that geopolitical arena, yes?
Definitely, because when we talk about geopolitical change, we should talk more precisely. It is what is happening in Washington. What is happening with respect to new policy of new American administration. And this once again demonstrates how the whole world is dependent on those decisions which are made in White House. So this is a source of the global geopolitical change. It just started. And we are just, as I said, in the early months of that geopolitical change. Therefore, the gathering like this, when we have such a big crowd, is important just to properly evaluate, to share views, concerns, or expectations. If you follow my remarks, you could have noticed that I'm very enthusiastic with what is happening because, as I said in my comments, we were very disappointed with the deterioration of relations between the previous US administration and Azerbaijan based on, I would say, unjust approach towards our national interest. Therefore, we are very enthusiastic that we will rebuild our strong partnership relationship with the United States under Trump's administration. But there are people in that room which are more disappointed than enthusiastic. And this is normal, because every country has its own interests, every politician has its own views, and here at this forum, there'll be, I hope, there'll be a clash of ideas. That makes the forum successful.
Have you spoken with President Trump, and is he embracing the conversation?
I only spoke with him, congratulated him with his victory, and that was the only, how to say, conversation between us.
For now. Mr. President, always a pleasure to talk to you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Lovely to see you.
Hope you enjoy your stay.
No, thank you very much. Take care. Lovely to see you. Bye-bye.